What's up? It's Jeremy Picker from Amber Creative.
This is Deanna with In the Zoning and Print Girl Mafia.
This is Ray Weiss with Printing the Night of the Lion.
You're listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
Hosted by Terry Combs RG, Regular Guy, and Aaron Montgomery.
The place to be for industry news.
The best dad jokes on earth, along with relevant topics to apparel decorators.
Fashion to the people. All right, welcome into the show. It is Friday, November 21st, 2025. I'm Terry Combs, and you can find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery from our Success Group, and you can also find me at American Print and Supply. And Terry, this week we are joined by our friend Warren Werbitt, and we'll be talking with him about a variety of subjects. If you've never met Warren, it's always an awesome, energetic, fun-filled conversation. And but we want to talk a little bit about the convergence of print and apparel. That's where he's at right now. And then also kind of a continuation of a discussion he and I had on his podcast about some of the unintended challenges that business owners create for themselves. And so going to be a great conversation today, Terry.
All right, and I'm sure all of our listeners are going to be able to relate to those challenges that we create for ourselves.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. So,
No secret sauce today. Our art guy is busy cooking up some cool stuff over at Stalls today, so he wasn't able to join us.
Yep. So send Dane some love. Get over there to Great Dane. Well, I guess it's not Great Dane Graphics anymore. Yeah, just right. But it sounded like he was busy, and so we appreciate any time he can spare for us. But he did not have any time this time around, so we'll look forward to catching him next month, Terry.
All right. Well, how about some news today?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got our friend Teresa Hegel from ASI joining us here today. She's got a number of different news stories for us, and always very well put together and thoughtful. So excited to have her joining us here, Terry, if you are ready.
I'm ready. Let's hear the news.
Hi, everyone. It's Teresa Hegel with ASI, and I'm here today to bring you some headlines. First up, we have SRG becomes the exclusive supplier of All American Writing Instruments products. So Counselor Top 40 supplier SRG has now become the exclusive supplier of the complete product line from All American Writing Instruments, which includes the brands Garland, Revmark, PenSense, Pencil Heroes, Paca, and Repen. The collaboration allows All American to broaden its market reach through SRG's extensive distribution network while maintaining its long-standing commitment to American-made craftsmanship and quality. Next up, PCNA partners with sustainable drinkware brands Ocean Bottle and Hydrate Spark. Excuse me. PCNA expanded its drinkware portfolio by partnering with Ocean Bottle and Hydrate Spark, bringing more sustainable and tech-forward hydration products into both its main line and ETS Express. Ocean Bottle products feature at least 67% recycled materials and fund the removal of ocean-bound plastic, with each purchase supporting the collection of 25 pounds of waste and contributing to the brand's 40-plus million pounds of plastic diverted to date. So that's a lot of plastic diverted from the oceans, which is awesome. Hydrate Spark's Smart Pro 2 bottles add wellness-focused technology, offering automated hydration tracking via an app, as PCNA continues growing its retail brand portfolio with items that perform, innovate, and do right by people and the planet. And then finally, our last headline, Thumbprint signals growing investment in AI with appointment of a director of tech. Thumbprint, which used to be Screenbroidery until it acquired Thumbprint and took on that branding, recently appointed Mark Hendrickson as Director of Technology and expanded Trevor Woodman's role to strengthen its tech and development capabilities. So following that recent acquisition and rebranding, Thumbprint is taking steps to position itself as a technology-driven distributor by creating predictive, frictionless, branded merchandise solutions. All right, that's all the news I have for you today. So take it away, Terry and Aaron.
Thank you, Teresa. Appreciate you sharing all that. Yeah, I love some really good stuff in there, especially the part about all the plastics they were taking out of
Yeah,
the. That was big.
impressive.
That's awesome.
Of course, what stuck with me was there's actually a brand called Pencil Heroes because I'm more of a mechanical pencil hero.
Okay, well, you could have your own shoot off of their brand then, Terry.
Heroes.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, let's say good morning here. We've got Ramona McKee checking in. Morning, running machines today. I'm in listen only mode. I like that. Cassie Green is checking in this morning. Cassie, I'm sure she loved hearing about the diverted waste bottles as well. She's a big proponent of that, like Teresa. So, and then we've got my son Keegan tuning in this morning. Mr. Keekster,
right.
good morning. Thanks for being here. Looking forward to hearing from you guys out there in the world. Whether or not you're catching this live or you are watching in the replay, make sure that you are commenting, you are participating in the conversations. Always important. And then let's see here. We also have All the Best Marketing LLC checking in. Hello. Thanks for tuning in this morning. So, Terry, now we obviously have big shoes to fill, and I feel like we're doing well. I did test this joke yesterday on my 15-year-old, my 14-year-old, I guess, and mixed reviews. So we'll
Huh.
see.
And Cassie's here too, so I feel like I don't know. Should I change it up or
Pressure's on. No, you got this. Let's do this.
another um, themed dad joke? So,
Let's do it.
so Aaron, I've been warned not to tell any more Thanksgiving jokes.
Really? Huh? Well, how's that going for you, Terry?
Well, I couldn't just quit cold turkey. There's a head shake going on in the green room.
So good. So see, I loved it personally. And I think the problem was when I tried to deliver it to my son, I didn't have the straight man on the other side asking
Oh,
that
great!
real
To
question.
set it up.
I had to. I was hoping he would just ask, but no, I had to prompt him. So that maybe was the problem. Love it. Love it.
You got the dull. Where's this going?
Yeah, exactly. There we go. So you've achieved there, Terry. Absolute fire, perfect joke. And I love how you always have a theme joke too, Terry. That is very impressive, by the way.
All right. Before we dive in, we want to thank everybody for checking out the Two Regular Guys podcast. We still need your voices. We would love to have all the regulators participate in our show intros. Go to osg.link/intro. Read a few sentences. Be a part of every show. Don't be left out. We are always looking for new guests. So if you or anyone you know would like to join us, go to calendly.com/2, the number 2, regular guys to book a future episode, or you can email us at info@tworegularguys.com with your show ideas. If you are listening to the podcast version, like most of our listeners do, we'd appreciate you sharing the Two Regular Guys podcast with all of your industry friends so they can become regulators too. We would appreciate you giving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, wherever you do your podcast listening, we are there. And if you're watching us live, please join in with your comments and your questions today.
All right. Well, yes, please do jump in there. We've got a great show ahead of you. In fact, I think, Terry, let's just dive into this. Warren, like I said, tons of great energy, and I'm sure we could talk to him for hours and hours. So we probably need to dive right in.
Yeah, let's jump in.
All right. And Keegan does say, yes, perfect. Warren, thank you. Welcome. I have to interact with my son real quick. He says, I would give a dad joke, but I couldn't think of one right now. Well, you're not a dad yet, Keegan, so it's okay.
It comes naturally. Which is
probably better.
Yes, exactly. Warren, man, thank you for being here. Welcome in. It's been a little bit since we've had a chance to talk to you. I actually went and looked it up. It was July of 2020, so we were in the thick of COVID at the time in certain parts of the world. And so I guess maybe start us off here, Warren. Give us the brief Warren 101. You got a bunch of apparel geeks here. So I want to hear kind of your journey a little bit, but also I want to let people know about the printwhisperer.shop and kind of your foray to get towards the apparel that you're wearing right now. Print is my love language for the podcast listeners, is what Warren has on his shirt today. So, Warren, I'll turn the mic over to you.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. I did go back and look at when I was on, and we've all changed just a little bit from
Just a little bit.
what we looked like on that podcast then. For myself, I think I got better looking, but I'll let you guys decide for yourself, whatever you think. But yeah, so update. So I was in the world of print before, as I owned a company called Pizzazz Printing, and we did some great stuff. And unfortunately, as I said on the last show, it came to an end. No matter what you think your business is going to be, you never really know, because we could only control so much. And then we're at the mercy of customers, many customers, and all those other things. So since then, I now have, I'll fast forward because who could remember everything in the middle, but what am I up to today? Number one, I have my own podcast called the Printing's Alive podcast, and it's to promote, like you guys, I want to promote anything print. I don't want any negative stuff if I could avoid it, but what I say it all the time is, without print, any kind of print, the world doesn't move. So it doesn't matter what side you're on. So I want to promote print. I want to promote people. I want to promote the people who buy print. And I don't mean buyers of from pharmaceutical companies. I mean the people who go buy books, buy posters, buy collectibles, buy stuff like that, because that's where it's full retail. Everybody makes full margin. I have the do some consulting as the Print Whisper as well. Everything's under the Print Whisper because I'm a quiet guy and don't like to make a lot of noise.
He's a quiet guy. That's funny. All right.
And it's just kind of fun. Even the Print Whisper, just quickly, someone said to me, how did you come up with that? And I said, well, it's not like I'm a genius, but I was watching the Fish Whisper on YouTube because aside from printing, I love fishing. And I'm thinking, wow. And I was trying to think of a name for the company. And my holdco is registered as Real Motion Consulting, REEL, like fishing. And then government maybe put consulting in just for names and all that. And I hate the word consulting. It's like taboo. And I thought, what could I do? And I'm watching a fishing video. And I say, oh my God, the Print Whisper would be great. So I go on to, I don't know, I won't plug any of the domain guys, but I go on to one of them and I type it in. And this was the sad thing. The Print Whisper was the only whisper that was available. The bots didn't even like us. They didn't even buy them up for resale. So for $24, I became the Print Whisper. So it works out perfect. And my brother went and created the logo. He's a brand designer, and he, thought he was a funny guy. And I gave him the Print Whisper and came up with 2 hooks back to back. And let me just see if I have one here. Yeah, he came up with 2 hooks back to back.
Nice.
And what he said he goes, I got you covered, man. You're the Print Whisper. We got your 2 fishing hooks in there. You always wear pink, so pink and black. Give you the devil's ears. And then he said, hey, you're transgender neutral with the black and the pink. So he made it so that I appeal to everybody. Don't offend anybody. And at the end of the day, I just really want to go out and help people in print, stay ahead, not fall behind, not get in any trouble. And then my latest thing, which is actually the most exciting thing of late, is I opened up the printwhisper.shop, and I have 143 designs up there, which I built the whole shop myself. And if you know me, it's way above my pay grade, way above it. Hours and hours in redos. When Shopify says 5 minutes to build a store, they lied. Okay, 5 months if you do it. Maybe not 5 months, but depending on the theme and what you choose. Printful, also great. They work together, but I don't think they talk together, because you do something here, you got to go back and redo it after. But you learn a lot, and it's been just exciting, just exciting. And I mean, I was with Aaron at Printing United, at the last Printing United, and I was saying when we were talking a little while ago, like a week ago, I kind of had what is it? An epiphany?
Epiphany, yeah.
Yeah, I failed English in school, by the way. I'll just put that out there. And I knew printing and t-shirt printing, or I'll call it merch for lack of better wording. Now they call it apparel printing or decorating. And I walked onto the other side, and I was just blown away. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm selling t-shirts, but we're making t-shirts. And then I met all these new people. And I thought, wow, what an exciting area. Everyone's upbeat. It's not like, I mean, printing's excited, but it's a little depressing at times, right? There's more people, young people, more people moving around, more ideas, the creativity. Anyway, off the charts. I just can't shut up about it.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for.
I love it.
You're going to put that on a loop, right? Just for an hour, just over and over.
That's right.
When you said that you hate the name consultant, it reminded me. I was in a management meeting years ago, and somebody brought up hiring a consultant, and somebody else in the meeting goes, "Consultant? That's just a guy between jobs."
Yeah, it's listen, it's important. It's important when the word consultants kind of got a little blurry over time, but there are some really good people out there that, you should be looking at if you're in a business and you need some help. Because when I got into business, the one thing that I did, because I didn't think I was that smart at the time, not that I think I'm that much smarter now, but I made sure that old cliche of surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. You have to believe it and you have to live it. And you have to just make sure that you do find some people that you can connect with and trust. You have to have some trust in people, right? Because I probably spent millions of dollars learning and making mistakes. That's why I could help others.
Well, after I left that job, I became a consultant. So
how's that working out?
Well, that was a previous lifetime. But hey, so you guys were on a podcast together, your podcast, and you talked about selling a big batch of shirts and how exciting that felt. What does that kind of excitement tell you about where creativity fits into print today?
Well, first of all, print has always been about creativity. It's not today. And I think in our industry, and when I say industry, I encompass all of print. Not everybody's always on the same page or hasn't been. For me personally, print is all about creativity. It's all about color. It's all about touch, feel, emotion. It's all about viewing how you feel when you see things. So to me, I just don't understand how people aren't creative and how they don't see it anything other than creative. I'm always left going, what do you mean you don't understand? What's wrong with you? Right? It's like if you go to even now when I did the store, one of my goals was and I buy a lot of t-shirts, music t-shirts, fishing t-shirts. I can't walk in a store and not buy a t-shirt. And God forbid they're on sale. You buy 2 of them. Not that you're ever going to. Actually, I'll just tell you funny, when we were doing our closets and the closet lady was in and she said, okay, I need to know how many shirts, t-shirts and all that stuff you have. And I came back to the room with my wife at the time and I said, I have 220 t-shirts. And they both looked at me and said, like, what's wrong with you? And I go, well, no. I said, okay, I'll go and get rid of some. I'll come back. I came back. I said, I have 211. I threw out the sleeping t-shirts.
I found 9 duplicates.
Not one duplicate, maybe the white. But what I wanted to offer was as many colors as options as I can, right? I've gone on to other t-shirt stores and I see they have a green, a brown, a blue, a black. I got yellow, green, blue. It just because colors make people alive. Different colors do different things for people. They bring smiles, right? They bring happiness. So it's like, wow, just creativity. Can't do without print.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that connection, Warren, that you're talking about, right? Like that creativity, but I think what brings it to life is the actual tactile aspect of it. And a lot of that to me is the colors, right? And so that's really cool. All right, two things for you here really quick. First and foremost though, you also told a story on your podcast, and maybe this was a story that you told me in person at Printing United in Orlando too, but you had a meeting with a t-shirt printer, apparel printer there that was also a pretty good story. Would you share that story with our listeners?
Yeah, and actually have a note to call him. I haven't had a chance yet. So cool. I was walking around. I get really excited. So on the way to the print show, I printed up these cards that said, good cause, good teas, good cause. And I'm giving 10% of the profit to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. which made it easier for me to jump into front of people's faces, because I don't know of anyone who gives away 10% of their profit to any charity. But for me, the children are important. So anyways, I'm walking around everywhere and I'm just jumping in front of people, and I see a guy wearing a t-shirt and I jump in front of him and I go, "Oh my God, you look like you love t-shirts." And in about a minute and a half, I rattle off my elevator spiel, and he's just smiling and laughing. And then I say to him, "So what do you do?" And he goes, "Oh, I sell t-shirts for the last 40 years. And I just start cracking up, and he's cracking up, and we start talking. And he then asks me a few questions and proceeds to walk me around the apparel decorating section, introducing me to manufacturers of equipment, introducing me to people who print on t-shirts for others, talking about the different t-shirts. And I was just blown away. And the gentleman's name was like Ron Goodwin, right? From, is it something Cotton? I'm trying to remember the name of the company. I have a card somewhere, but all soft cotton, all good cop. Anyway, whatever it is, just know Rob Goodwin. And oh my God, the nicest, kindest person. And it just made me feel good as a person, welcomed into the area, welcomed into the industry. He did everything that I try to do when I meet people on the other side of the building, right? Just embrace them. And he gave me just the best feeling. And at the end, I said to him, "Look, you gave me goosebumps." Yeah. And then he went into his pocket to reach for a coin, which I guess that's his thing. And he didn't have one. He said he would send me one. But I think I made his day, but he really made my day.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We're all familiar with Ron. He's a great guy. And I didn't know that he had a kind of a different business name, because I've always known him as Goodwin Graphics. So
right.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm looking for the card. Maybe it's just one of these things.
All good. I appreciate you sharing that story. That really stood out to me.
He even gave me a little thing that he had on for the phone. There's Goodwin Graphics.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Love it. Thank you. Yeah, and so I guess the reason why I asked, obviously, that's an awesome story, but also I just want people to kind of see that, right? Like, when we take the time to embrace others and just share and give, I've always had. Well, I haven't always. I had a mentor tell me you can't outgive the universe, and I've tried to hold on to that for a long time. So appreciate you sharing that story, Warren.
What? So it's so important, and we can't say it enough. People just helping people, just being kind, just being open, right? Yep. You just don't know who that other person might be, or what they're going through, what's on their mind. So skip the judgment and just help the world get into a better place by helping.
Love that. All right. Well, the second thing that I had for you, Warren, is you and I had an awesome conversation. I had a blast on your podcast. So you guys make sure you check out the podcast. In fact, Eric might be able to get the YouTube link to our show when we were on. Said we talked about a week ago. I think it just came out recently. And we were kind of talking about some of the ways that printers might create their own challenges. Again, kind of you mentioned it a little bit with some of the consulting conversations you were having there. But I guess, Warren, I'd love to hear from you. What do you see as some of these patterns popping up and again where printers are creating their own challenge, regardless of what part of the printing world that they're in?
Number one, they're not good listeners, right? We have people out there that we could talk to that give us information, you know what? I'm going to just talk from my own experience.
Yeah, please.
Of dealing with a couple people, because it's just easier. But I go into a place and I see what they're doing, and I spend some time and I talk with everybody, which is my normal setup when I'm doing an engagement, because I want to hear from the people first, what their feelings are about the place, happy, not happy, good, bad. People have a lot of stuff, and you weed out the gossip, you weed out the bullshit, but you get the core, and then you could develop, you develop the whole pattern from talking to everyone about what's real. And first thing I think that owners do is they don't listen to the people that work with them. They don't listen to the people who are the most hands-on in the thick of things. And I always felt that those people had the best ideas because they're in it, doing it. I can't have the best idea on how to run something in production when I'm working in the front office. I don't see the makeup every day, right? We get a lot of people. It's an older industry, a lot of know-it-alls. Well, if you know it all, then why am I here? And if you know it all, why aren't you making tons of money? And if you know it all, why did you buy that wrong machine? And why did you not do your homework first? Right?
Yeah.
People get excited by going out for meals sometimes with their suppliers, but don't ask the right questions. Right? I would rather pay for the meal and get it back from them in a rebate when I do buy the equipment, because we could all afford to pay for our own meals. Right? It's working with your people. Just listening. Everything comes down to listening, because if you listen, then you know what's going on, and then you know how to deal with it. And in terms of dealing with it, if you don't have the answer, we are surrounded by so many people, so many associations, peers that you could reach out to. Right? We have people we shouldn't have in our business because it's a hindrance. It's sometimes better not to have them than the fear of, if I don't have them, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes when you have to let someone go and you don't want to let them go because you're more nervous or afraid, but you know you should let them go. What will most of us say? When that happens, you have a short period of pain, but the outcome is usually up after. Right?
Yep.
You get somebody new comes in, better ideas. People hiring salespeople. They try to find people that are always in the industry. Mistake. Customers don't follow salespeople anymore. Some are going, yeah, they do. Okay, little ones. But when companies start working with their manufacturers or the printers, they invest too much time and money in the process in achieving the brand, the look, right, getting the right color. They're not just going to go with someone to another company.
Yeah.
So the ownership has to be confident. Owners, multi-level selling. How many owners are listening that don't know their biggest customers? Shame on you. Shame on you. You know why? Because the salesperson might think that they own the customer. Shame on them. They don't own the customer. The guy who covers the bill and carries the receivable owns the customer. Yeah. And my suggestion is always multi-level sell, because you just don't know who leaves when they leave. And if you are ownership tied in with ownership, and someone leaves, guess what? Your first phone call is to the owner just to solidify your place and make sure the new person coming in knows that they're speaking to you and not their friend. Owner to owner. Actually, if you could see my wall, I have a sign there that says owner to owner is a different kind of conversation. Oh, there it is. Under my shirt, next to my dog. But yeah, owner to owner is a different conversation. I've had, and I think I might have mentioned it, maybe I didn't mention it, but I used to say to my salespeople, hey, time to make appointments with your customers. I want to go say hello to them. And what happened was this. Half of the people would make the appointments right away. Why? Because they're smart. They know that when you bring the owner, more good things could happen. Why? Because the owner could say things that salespeople cannot say. They could ask questions that salespeople don't think they could ask, but they could ask, right? And then the customer, when the owner comes, is always happy, right? It's the owner came, regardless of the size of company, it's the owner leaving, coming to meet them. So half would do it right away, and that was great. And the other half wouldn't. And why wouldn't the other half do it? Oh, because they don't want you there. They don't want you to know what they're not selling. They don't want you to know what they're not telling the customer about your company, about the services that you offer. So I would say to the salesperson, make the call, or I'm going to make a call and you're not coming with me. I don't need them there, right? And I could meet the buyer. I could ask to meet the president of the company or anybody senior above. Why? Because I'm there. I'm saying hello. I'm giving my card to everyone. I'm embedding myself. I'm securing the position of the company. That's what the owner should be doing. And you're solid. And for the sales, I remember being with a salesperson and the customer didn't know we did large format. Like, I had to practice maintaining my control because I could have reached across the table and strangled the salesperson, right? Because there was a whole lot of business. And there's too many salespeople that aren't leveraging the relationship to get more out of the customer. So,
I was thinking when you were saying that about going to lunch with a supplier, and one time one of my suppliers invited me to lunch, and we were having a pleasant conversation. He whips out, I think it was Impressions magazine, and it was an article I'd written. And he goes, "Were you talking about me?" Yes, I was. Everything that happened in my life, when I used to write articles every month, and everything that happened in my business life, that it ended up in an article. So people were always looking for themselves in it. But hey, so you and Aaron were talking about passion being fuel, and anybody that knows either of you knows that's the passion is a big part of your life. But how do you stay fired up about print after all these years? How do you keep it going?
I don't know how you look. I'll reverse it and say, how are you not excited by it? Like, honest to God. Like, let's be serious here, okay? We're in the business, so we see it and we know it. I get so excited walking down the street when I see certain things. I see new designs on billboards. I see new signage. I pick up a book. It doesn't matter. A label, a wine bottle. Not that I drink often, but it's the emotion of it. I mean, I remember when we had a 56-inch UV KBA press, oversized for sheets, and we put it to a 56-inch poster, and I put a green apple scent on it from Scentisphere, and we're at a customer, and I put it on the table, and I kid you not, the whole meeting, it's like all they're doing is rubbing the poster and smelling it, and like, I'm like, folks, there's going to be a genie that comes out soon if you don't stop rubbing it. Right? How do you not be? And if you're not passionate about it, then honestly, get out. There's no in between. If someone has to ignite you to get passionate about it, then get out. You're either passionate or you're not. You either have something in you. Maybe you have to let the guard down because you're an introvert and you don't know how to scream out yet that I fucking love printing. You can call me and we can work on it together. I do speech therapy. But yeah, it's fishing. I mean, -2. I'm out walleye fishing the other night in a boat in the dark, and my friends are like, "You're out of your mind." I'm like, "I have a survival suit. I'll float. God forbid something happens." And it's -2. My fingertips are falling off, but they'll warm up eventually. And if not, I could always, eat with my thumbs. It's not a problem. I don't know how you're not in it.
Yeah.
If you're not passionate, you shouldn't be in the business, because you need to be passionate to be in a low margin, eat your heart out type of business.
Yeah. I think, and Terry is passionate about what he does too. And so I think we're all on the same page here, but I do know people out there that, they just feel like they're going through the motions. Mm-hmm. And I love that you're saying, if this isn't right for you, then get out. Right. But I think we're all just a choice away though, going, man, it is pretty cool. Right. So maybe it's a perspective thing. I see in people, Warren, that they're too close to it. They're in the slog of it. Right. We've all been there, but yeah. What would you say to those people that are stuck a little bit?
Call me.
Yeah.
For a few $100, I'll help you. But no, it's, you know what? Join a peer group, find something exciting to be. Honestly, call me. It's not about the money, just for a conversation. If you are ownership and you are not passionate, excited, I have one question. What do you expect of your team then?
Yeah. Really good point.
I always say, and I always believe, and it's not print, it's anything. If you want to do something, create an initiative in the company, marketing, a contest, something to go out, right, to promote. If the ownership is not leading the charge by getting the designs done by whoever, putting someone in charge of it, but proofing everything, agreeing with everything, being in every sales meeting where they discuss it, right? Don't expect your people to succeed.
Yeah.
Right. It's like at home. You need to lead your children by example. Right. Our children don't know how to do things on their own, or we don't let them out and then come back and beat them up because they did what they did and we didn't give them any direction.
Yeah.
So if you're a business owner, you're really just a parent with children.
Yeah.
Right.
And why do they line up outside your door with questions? Because they don't know. But the other question is this: why, when you're out of town, does everybody do everything right and everything is smooth and there's no mistakes? And then you come back and everything slows down and they're waiting for you to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You know, I've talked about it in this show several times before. Whenever I go into a new situation where I'm in charge, and people come to you, you know, with their questions, my response is always, "What would you do?" And okay, let's do that. And eventually, they stop coming because they know that you trust their decisions, and you know, every company, the personality of that company is a reflection of the owner or the manager of that company. So, you know, if the employees are rude to you when you go in, chances are they learned that from the president's office. So, you know, look within.
You know, just something interesting. So what I once did was, because I believe your best ideas could come from the places that the people work, right?
Yeah.
And so I once had this idea, and I went in the back and I created a box, and I went to speak to all the employees, and I said, okay, listen, I'm giving out $100 cash for the best idea this week. I said, we'll take all the ideas, we'll list them. I'm happy to review them because I'm sure some are good and some we can't put in place for different reasons. And I'll try to explain to you why, so you can gain a little bit of an understanding of how some things are done or not. Anyways, I go out there after the first week and I go to the box, and there's like 4 things in there, 4 little pieces of paper, but there's 50 people in front of me. And I'm like, did none of you have any ideas? And it's also they're afraid, they're nervous, but still, anyone could put a piece of paper in without their name on it. I didn't need the name. I could match up the handwriting later. And they put it in, and I went, and I was a little disappointed because I have a tendency to think more people will do certain things that are easier or not. And most of the time they don't do it. But so I went out in the back and I gathered everyone and I said, you know what? You guys need to learn that you got to participate. So I said, and I knew who the 5 people were, and I called them up and I said, I'm not even going to look at your idea yet, but I'm giving you each $100 because I appreciate the effort and the initiative.
Yeah.
And then I gave another 100 to the person who had the idea of the week. But you would think you would come back the next week and the box would be full. It's not. I just gave out $500 cash for no reason to make a point. So you have to engage people. You have to encourage people. You have to figure out what makes people tick. And then you have to encompass them and bring them in. Right. And find a place. Have idea week. Have a weekly meeting where everybody could say whatever they want, however they want. Respectful, of course. And what goes in the room stays in the room. And honesty. And if the owner wants, he puts the manager or who in charge to go in there, right? So people maybe will speak a little more openly.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I agree. Buy pizza and go around the room. What would make your job better, easier, more efficient? And you said something super important there early in that response when you said, if it's something that you can't implement, explain why. Because the person that makes the suggestion and nothing happens, they go, well, that they were just blowing in the wind, you know, because they didn't do anything with my idea. So you do have to explain, I like your idea, but here's why we can't do that right now, or some kind of response, so they know that at least you acknowledge that they made a suggestion.
It's not only acknowledging the suggestion, you're teaching them. You're teaching them about a thought process. You're teaching them how things happen and why, and then maybe they could connect something else or learn something else. I mean, when we have people, we also have to let them know that when we're going to teach them, we're investing in them, right? And whether they stay with our company or not, we're adding value to their lives, right? I mean, I had people. Actually, I just saw something the other day written where some companies, when you leave them, they're just mean and rude, and they cut you off. And I'm thinking that's awful, because I've had people who've left me. Some by choice, my choice. No, I've had people who've come to me and said, I'm leaving. And I always say, okay, why? Where are you going? What are you doing? When a person's leaving, because they could go put 10, 15, $20,000 more on their table at home and feed their family, more power to them. I own this place. I'm stuck here. I can't leave no matter what, whether I'm making money or losing money. But when I employ someone, that's their choice. That's their opportunity. So anyone who's leaving to better themselves, my door is always open for them to come back. I might not be able to put them in the same place, but I want good people to come back. But I understand people have to make their own choices.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff. All right, Warren, as we kind of said at the top, but whatnot, we were probably going to cover a wide range of topics, and we already have. But I can't have you on here and not talk to you a little bit about sales. In fact, when we had you on back in 2020, that was the main idea of because I know you're really known for this, and I've learned so much from listening to you about just how to connect with people. I mean, some of the stories about being on elevators or airplanes or at trade shows or things like that. But you mentioned, right, the people that are a little bit more introverted, right? There's still a possibility to build those kinds of relationships and have those kind of connections. What would your advice be to somebody that is a bit more introverted?
Well, you could start off by, if there's people that you want to connect with, send them something, and not a sales letter, just an introductory letter about, this is me, this is what we do. I'm always looking to provide solutions and benefits to other people. If I could ever be of assistance, would love to chat with you. Never make it like you don't have to be selling anything when you're talking about yourself and you're putting yourself out there, right? So you always want to find a reason other than the sale. If you're introverted, so to speak, and you're not good at getting out there, you're not going to be a great salesperson.
Yeah.
Because more often than not, you're going to be you're going to nervous and talk about the sale. I try to talk about anything but the sale. Try to find out who they are. Yeah. First of all, if you're introverted, try to find out who you're going to talk to, a little bit about someone that you're talking to, either if it's LinkedIn, check on their Facebook if you can, see if they like skiing or fishing, or if you could always find that little nugget that you have in common. Kids, mother-in-law you don't like. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff as we go because everyone has one. And then you work it. And I'm not saying it's easy, but most people don't shut people down. And most people, when there's something that you could touch on that similar something, the conversation will go, right?
Yeah.
If you're okay, one thing that a company could do, what I'm doing now with the print shop is because I'm giving 10% away of the profit to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I start off with a lot of people that I'm talking to saying, hey, let me just tell you what the company's doing first before I get into what we're really doing. We're going to give 10% of our profits away to Make-A-Wish Foundation because the world's really shitty and the kids there really need a little boost if they're going to, come into life and have some good motivation to do things. And then I go into the tease. The minute you say Make-A-Wish, the minute you talk about kids, talk about your own kid. If you're, oh my God, mush, right? And then they give you the time, and then usually you get it. But you have to know some of the ththings that you would like to say. I say like to say because it might not come out the way you want to say it at first, and you find the way. If you're a total introvert and you don't want to do anything, get out of sales.
Yeah, hire a salesperson, right? Warren, I don't know if I'm making this up, but didn't you take an improv class?
I did.
Okay. All right.
Because I'm not out there enough.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You probably didn't need it, but I bet it was fun.
No, you know what? When I went to it, I was nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I watched, whose line it is anyways. I'm always with the one-liners with all my friends. I'm joking all the time. I think my other life, I might have been a comedian, maybe not. Maybe drunk comedian. But friend of mine were talking. I said, you know what? I'm going to go. And I went and I signed up and I walked into a room with 14 people. And I was kind of like, whoa. And it was the ages were all over. And it's actually really funny, not funny, but we get there, we're in the line, and the facilitator says, okay, we're going to go around the room and everyone's just going to give your name and your pronoun. And I'm like, a what? I said, what's a pronoun? I mean, I failed English, remember? I don't know what pronouns and verbs are. And she kind of looked at me funny, and I looked at her funny back because it's the improv class. And when they were going around the room and everyone's going, he and she and him and they, and it comes to me and I went, Warren, hee-haw. Like, I didn't know what else to say. And I don't want to be classified and I don't want to be put in anything. I just want to be Warren. That's what my parents labeled me and that's who I am.
Yeah.
But you go in and if you are an introvert, I would recommend improv because you're in a small group of people. Everybody gets friendly, even though not everyone in the room is extroverted. Everyone's still a little cautious in the beginning because you don't know who's who. You don't know what jokes you're going to make, even if you're sitting around, because they're very. They tell you, just not to be respectful, not to offend anyone, and that whole other far left movement. But what it does for you and building up your confidence. Think about going to improv, them giving you some direction. You go up on stage, and you can't make a mistake, right? Because it's what you think it is, whatever it is that you're doing. That gives you tremendous confidence that will allow you after to go out and meet people because you're acting on a whim. So highly recommend it. I did 2 levels. I have to go back and do the 3rd level.
Nice.
Where I'm getting, and even the podcast. Everyone knows me for inside. I'm not as cool as you see on the outside before I get into some things. I'm like uptight. My brain is spinning. I'm a little nervous. I don't lift my arms because I'm sweating. It's just try to wear colored shirts that don't show it off. But you go and you do, and it's about it's about how you come across. So you might think you're shy and whatnot, but the other side, oh, pretty outspoken. That person's pretty good. I like the way they talk and present, and they'll tell you. Right. The one thing people have always said to me after every meeting is, oh, my God, I never met anyone who loves Prince so much or so passionate in your authenticity. I didn't get every order, or I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be on the Bahamas if I got every order. But that was important for me in my personal brand to know that I was coming across the passion because they would call me back and I would get a chance.
Yeah. Love it.
Well, so we like to wrap up usually with some kind of golden nugget. So after everything we've talked about, what do you wish more printers understood about their own potential?
That they have potential. What I would on my wish list or nugget is I wish for everybody to think positively. I wish for everyone not to think negatively. I wish for everyone to look at their own businesses and look at what they need to make in terms of earnings to pay their bills, not to compete with the competition and just agree to anything. Walk away, because the one thing we know is this: when we take that order that's not going to be good, the minute they hand it to you, you get that in your stomach, and you carry it right through, even when you have to do the order twice because you didn't do it right the first time and you were late. So stand up for what we know, because this doesn't lie for that stuff. Yeah. And then you have to people to come together and be honest. And passion is, if you're an owner, what do you have to do? You have to have a marketing plan. And that doesn't mean tons of money, but just makes different samples. Give your team stuff to go knock on doors and drop off. They don't ask for a quote. They just say, hey, Jack, I just want to drop you off what we're doing. It's the latest. If you have a few minutes, call me. If they're busy, they're busy. I would put stuff in clear envelopes so that everyone at the reception and everyone along the way could see what's in it if it was cool. and you keep doing that, and you don't have to ask for a quote, because if you keep doing that and you chat a little, they're going to remember you, because you're probably one of the few people who's actually regularly dropping off something and not asking for something.
Yeah. Amazing. Really good stuff there, Warren. Thank you for all those golden nuggets there. All right. So before we let you go, though, tell people where they can connect with you, learn more about what you're doing there at the Print Whisperer and your podcast, but also where they can buy some fun shirts at.
Well, number one, you've got to go to www.theprintwhisperer.shop, and all your fun shirts are there. By the way, if you have any great ideas for me, send me the ideas. If I use them, I will send you a free shirt on me. We do hoodies as well, which are wicked. Basically, Google the Print Whisperer or Google Warren Werbitt, and all my shit comes up. You can not find me.
Very findable. And and you guys make sure to also check out his podcast. Before I was able to be on it, I checked out some of the other episodes. Really great energy, really great information over there. So what's the name of the podcast one more time, Warren, for us?
The podcast is Printing's Alive, like my original video, which is featured video on there where I scream about print. Kind of the same name as my book.
Oh, nice.
Right?
I forgot about the book. I saw that. Yep.
And the book was printed in CMYK. I didn't have to use special pink, save some money.
Nice.
But I picked the right color. Yeah, and if you happen to print and love fishing, definitely reach out to me. If your office is near water, we want to work together. 2 days in the office, 1 day on the boat. We'll talk more on the boat than we will in the office, but I guarantee you success.
I love it. I love it. Warren, thank you so much for your time today, man. It was great. Another fun conversation.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Warren.
Enjoy.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Really, just again, I always have a blast talking to Warren. It was great to see him in person out there in Orlando, and I was really grateful that he asked me to join him on his podcast. We had a blast there, so was glad that we got to continue this conversation. Let's try not to make it 5 years between conversations with Warren this next time.
Exactly. In our 18th year.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick before we get further away here, Doug had a quote that he put in there when we were talking about sales that I thought was a good one. A great salesperson goes after Moby Dick in a lifeboat and brings tartar sauce with them. Expecting the order. I
exactly
think
right.
That means
that's a good one.
So. Well, Terry, what is on the horizon for you? I know we're coming to the end of the year, but
my next complete screen printing business course will be at Atlas Screen Supply in Chicago. That will be March 21st and 22nd. And it seems weird to be saying March, but it's around the corner.
It is around the corner. Crazy, huh? Awesome.
And so watch for all my upcoming events at terrycombs.com. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I just released this. In fact, it's out there in the public. I've got some people signed up already. I'm blown away. But I'm inviting 13 business owners into what we're calling the Business Builder Accelerator. It is a guided 12-week experience where we're going to take people that are feeling overwhelmed and help them find some clarity and just create a business foundation that's all built on their strengths, their values, and their passions. So if this is at all of interest to you, we're again limiting it to only 13 people to make sure that we get the most transformation possible. So reach out to me as soon as possible at consultaaron.com. You can go over there and there's a little button at the top to schedule a meeting with me and we'll have a little clarity chat. Again, whether you're interested in the accelerator or not, I am happy to provide my superpower of perspective and just see if there's some places where you might be out of alignment that are really kind of keeping you stuck. We can talk a little bit about the program if you're interested, but do reach out right away. I do expect this to be full. We've already got 5 people committed to it for sure, and a number of other people that I'm talking to. So the 13 people are going to be there. We will start right away at the beginning of 2026. But I'm already working with some of the people that are committed to it to just really kind of build that foundation. And it's the other thing I guess I would share about this, Terry, is I want to be really clear. This is not another, here's a list of things to do. This is not another, go spend hours and hours on the mountainside and that type of thing. This really is, give me about 3, at most 6 hours a week of just working on your business. And that's going to give you a bunch of time back on the other side of this. So it's actually going to be a net positive for your time. if you're committed to that. So that's the big thing that I'm super excited about, Terry. And then the other thing that's on my immediate calendar here is tomorrow. I've got a Small Business Saturday episode planned for everybody at noon
Did
Central.
you remember which one you're doing this Saturday?
I did actually remember this time. It's like I've got the topics actually planned out through the end of the year, Terry, and I think sometimes that throws me, but got to be in the moment, right? But this week we're going to break down why hustle alone isn't moving your business forward. So it's basically why doing more isn't fixing your business. I'm actually going to ask you to do less, and there's a really good reason for this. I'm excited. I think there's some things that we can do to create momentum. And by doing less, we tend to pick the more valuable things because we're not going, oh, I'm going to do 100 million things. And then you just kind of, are doing busy work, right? If I say I'm only doing X number of things this week, you're going to do the best things when you commit to that. So that's the idea, but I'm going to break that down a lot more. You can tune in live over at our YouTube page, which is liveosg.com. We are also over on Facebook. So if you want to find our success group on Facebook, and I will be live. Sometimes these are recorded, but we do plan to be live before we take off on our trip to Hilton Head this next week. So to enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday. And make sure that you guys are subscribe to our page. So sorry, Terry. What
I was just going to say, yeah, that's a great topic. I love that.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, and then I will share what Eric's got coming up here. Let's see here, just make sure I got it all right. Yep. Okay. This afternoon, he will be providing the Take Up Thread Break featuring Joe Kramer, and always a great conversation. Joe's an awesome guy, and having two super smart people in the same room, Terry, notebook full of good stuff. But they're going to talk about why multimedia matters, print and applique and machine embroidery. So in the episode, Eric is once again going to welcome his brother in embroidery there, the embroidery digitizing designer, all-around applique evangelist, and educator extraordinaire, Joe Kramer, to discuss combining print and applique to create matchless machine embroidery, from design and digital file preparation to digitizing and into execution on how multimedia can serve your customers. So definitely an episode you want to check out. You can do so at ericcampbell.com and just hit the Take Up tab on the top. It will be live today at 2:30 Mountain Time. You're still holding on to Mountain Time, 4:30 Eastern Time. And so join in and just be part of the conversation too. I think these shows are always better when we get you guys to participate. So, and then a reminder that the Technique Toolkit is back for the Impressions Expo in Long Beach. And yes, that is coming up faster than we realize, folks. So get registered. But join Eric, Joe Kramer, Justin Armena, and Katie Wubin for a 4-in-1 workshop all about creating looks for B2B commercial embroidery that rival retail and move beyond boring commodity work. And you can register at the link that Eric will put on screen, or go to impressionsexpo.com. But make sure that you use the code SPEAKER210, and that will get you 20% off the full conference pass over there. So that's what Eric's got coming up, Terry.
Awesome. When everybody who's watching saw me jump back, that's because Eric was typing and he kept blowing up his the letters to like 36-point type.
We're just doing that for you, Terry. We know, just kidding. One other thing, Terry, that we are in the middle of the Reggie week. The Reggie voting is happening. So if you guys have not voted already, head over to tworegularguys.com/Reggies, and you can vote on the 8 categories that we have. Looks like there's lots of voting happening, so it's active. And once you vote, you can actually see who the winner is. You can change your vote, but you can only vote once per IP address. So we've had people try to fake the system, but just get over there and vote, and we'll look forward to, we're a couple weeks away from announcing the winners, Terry.
Right. Tell your friends to get out and vote as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Terry. Well, great show today. We've come to the close of another show. Thanks very much to Warren for his time and all of his valuable insight. Make sure that you're getting over there and buying some cool t-shirts from Warren and supporting that, but also check out his podcast. And if you need any help with any of the things that we talked about today, Warren is an incredible resource, somebody that you should be working with. So reach out to him and make sure that you tell him the Two Regular Guys sent you.
Absolutely. We also want to thank our show producer, Eric Campbell, for all he does to keep the show moving, turning the knobs, spinning the wheels. And even though he thought my dad joke was mediocre today, we still appreciate everything you do,
Eric. And I think he even does like the DJ, scratch for us too sometimes just to make it sound better. All right. Well, Terry, next week, it is the Friday after Thanksgiving for everybody in the U.S. here. So we normally take a break, and we will officially be taking a break. We also have to celebrate Terry's birthday.
Exactly. On that Friday.
These are very important times. So this is that Friday. So outside of celebrating Terry's birthday, we have a gift for you all as well, though. Terry and I had an opportunity to record a special program with Brad Pengley and from Hoops CRM, to talk about automations and ideas on what you can do today. It's not about robots in the print shop. It's really about kind of making your business more efficient. He gave us some great ideas, some great insights. And so we said, you know what? We don't have a week for him in our schedule, but it was an opportunity to record this. So kind of our early Christmas gift to you guys. And that way, you can check that out. It will come out at our normal time at 10 o'clock next Friday. So it will be a recorded version, though. So if we're not replying to your comments, that's why.
And he won't be celebrating Thanksgiving because it's recorded from Australia.
Absolutely. But I think he's moving here. So he's going to have to figure that out.
California. Exactly.
Right.
In the new year.
Yep. But Terry, we will be back live the following Friday, December the 5th, and we will have Angie on, and we've had Angie on several times before. Always great information from Angie. We're going to be talking about connection over competition and how she's built real relationships in the apparel industry. So looking forward to talking to Angie in 2 weeks.
That's a great topic as well. So
yep.
Until then, I'm Terry Combs. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And that was the Two Regular Guys.
Here we go. We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Two Regular Guys. We're here because of listeners like you, and we're so grateful to have you on this journey with us. For more valuable insight, be sure to visit our website, 2regularguys.com, and join the conversation on our Facebook page. And hey, if you or someone you know has expertise, a unique perspective, or a story worth sharing, we'd love to have them as a guest on the show. Just reach out. Remember, success in this industry isn't just about the equipment you own or the techniques you've mastered. It's about the mindset you bring and the connections you build. Keep learning, stay curious, and don't be afraid to think differently. Keep pressing on, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Two Regular Guys.